2.
Hello and welcome to the post week 9
entry week 10.
Entry into week 10 Gem City Gridiron Fantasy Football Podcast. As always, I am your host, Scotch on the sidelines, your deputy commissioner. With me, I have Zach Stewart, the commish. How are you doing this evening, sir?
Not too bad. Had a rough week of work. Had to do my local league commissioner duties of my actual job. Had to suspend a actual player for one full season. So that was not fun.
What gets you suspended for a full season?
Verbal abuse of staff. So yeah, I mean, and it's one thing to everyone gets a little fired up for, you yell at the officials and all that sort of stuff, but there's no reason for you to berate and verbally abuse the scorekeeper. So that gentleman will be gone for one full calendar year, not just the basketball season, but a full calendar year.
Right. It's not a 182 game suspension. It's a
365 day suspension, but he only normally plays basketball, so it's not that big a deal. But still, my first big suspension as a Sheridan commish, so that was interesting, to say the least. And we move on. That is not something I really want to talk about too much.
I am on, I know, big surprise, yet another vacation. This time went to Phoenix for the weekend and then ended up in San Diego, been here all week. And that is why we have had a late podcast. Zach was in New York.
Correct.
During our normal recording yard.
Yeah, it was, when I was in New York, I did watch a little bit of football, not a whole bunch. I watched mainly the Island games. Thursday, I watched some of Thursday night. I watched some of Sunday night. Got a little bit of the afternoon games. It's hard watching on the East Coast. I'll tell you, it's
so late.
Kickoff's not till 8:30 on those primetime games. I watched till halftime. I watched till halftime with Sarah's dad, and I was just so tired. I went to bed at halftime. It was 10:30. I'm like, people that live on the East Coast and watch these religiously, give them props because they're still getting up early the next day, and it was hard. I was on vacation. I couldn't do it. We were busy. I
totally forgot that there was football on when I was here because on the West Coast, it was the exact opposit. It's so early.
It's 10 a.m. Yeah.
That you just completely forget it's on. We landed before kickoff. We landed before kickoff. I forgot it was even on until we got to where we were staying. So I was watching on my phone for a little bit. But
yeah, Sarah
Cowboys got their butt kicked, and that was about all I needed to know.
Yeah, Sarah was thrown off by the whole thing because she's like, it's almost 11 o'clock. She's like, do you need to check your teams? And I'm like, no, it's not till 1 o'clock on the East Coast. So it's just, and I've been in all time zones during this entire football season. So trying to decipher when games have been kind of hard. West Coast time when I was in Vegas, Central time zone in Dallas and Chicago, and then New York. For the East Coast time, it's been a whirlwind 10 weeks of the NFL season, to say the least.
Man, East Coast is the only place I haven't been yet this year.
Yeah, the time zones. Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's wild. The games don't start till 1 o'clock. I get it's kind of nice. At least the games don't start till 1 o'clock because you can get everything done in the morning and all that sort of stuff. And the games start at 1, and then 4:30. But the primetime games are just absolutely brutal. Yeah, that pretty tough watching those games, and they weren't very good games, so I didn't miss a whole bunch. So,
no. Let's start it off with Thursday night. It was quite a crazy one.
Yeah, we could go Thursday night.
Yeah, I was Jets Colts. I had been released from COVID leave that night, and was driving to Salt Lake City, and I was like, who keeps scoring? They keep scoring?
Do you know who the quarterback is for the Jets?
Well, it was Josh Johnson, wasn't it?
Yeah, you know who started?
Mike White.
Mike White, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Threw the ball.
He got injured.
Yeah.
think he should be playing though.
Yeah, he's playing this week. He's named the starter. Zach Wilson's not quite ready yet. So back to Mike White.
Stu Gotts, because I listen to the Dan Le Batard show all the time. It's like, oh, we got a quarterback finally. But he was talking about Mike White.
White.
Not Zach Wilson.
Speaking of Thursday night, Colts came out pretty hot. Built a pretty big lead. Game is not as close as it was on the score sheet, 45-30. The Jets just kind of got a bunch of garbage time. Ty Johnson and Elijah Moore were the big point getters for fantasy-wise. Like we said, Mike White didn't go out. Josh Johnson steps in for the third-string quarterback. He throws for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. Whichever Jets backup quarterback comes in, expect them to throw 303. But why would you ever start?
I actually picked up Elijah Moore on like Wednesday, I think, and started him, and he ended up at 27.3.
So lucky. I
had to start him. That's the best part.
That's where it works out, when you have to start somebody and it does work out. So, but Colts, Michael Pittman, stud. Jonathan Taylor, stud. Carson Wentz is getting back into a groove. Naheem Hines looks pretty good when Marlon Mack's not active. The Colts are kind of rolling right now.
Yeah, the Jets offense looks good if and only when Zach Wilson is injured.
Yeah, that's pretty sad. Have a second overall pick on him, and the backup quarterbacks are playing better.
Browns beat the Bengals.
Beat down.
Baker Mayfield decided that he wanted to play.
Yeah, that was the whole obviously, we'll get to it. Odell Beckham, not on the Browns anymore. Baker comes out, guns a-blazing. Nick Chubb runs all over the Bengals. Donovan Peoples-Jones catches a long touchdown.
They just kind of put him in their place.
Yep. And we'll get to this, but the NFL season has just been absolutely wild this year. Like, good teams beat. Then bad teams beat good teams, and good teams lose, and you don't know what the heck's going to happen. Like, the Bengals blow the doors off the Ravens, and then the Ravens blow out somebody, and then now the Ravens. We're a day later on the podcast. They lose to the Dolphins.
Yep.
And then the Browns get stomped by the Bengals, I believe it was.
And then they whoop on the Bengals.
Yeah, it's so.
I think they've already played twice. The Browns and Bengals.
So weird.
This week was no exception. This is the weirdest week. Just so frustrating for anybody who bets on football.
Yeah, it was absolutely wild. But that being said, the Browns did pull it out. Nick Chubb, great performance. Sadly, right after on Monday, he was placed on the COVID list, so he will most likely be out this week. Back to the Dearness Johnson show. Bengals didn't look very good.
No, for the first time in a while.
Yeah, first time in a while. So they're on the bye week though, so they should get a little bit extra rest. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins is coming alive. Those touchdowns are going to start coming for T. Higgins eventually. Joe Mixon looks good, but the Browns just came out. Trying to prove a point after the whole Odell Beckham situation.
Who is now a Ram.
Which sucks for me.
Sucks for me. Well, no, it sucks worse for you.
Yeah, I already have Robert Woods. I don't need any more of this nonsense. I do think, if we want to take a sidebar, I do think it's not going to affect Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods that much. They're already not leaving the field, so they're not going to leave the field now. Target share is going to drop, not by a whole lot, because he's going to play in more spaces of Van Jefferson, which sucks because Van Jefferson has been playing pretty good. If you look at the box scores, it's all right, but fantasy, not great. It's like that whole. I bet you he
cuts into Darrell Henderson's load.
They're talking about they might go more 4 wide.
Higbee's done.
Yeah, you can't play Higbee anymore. It was already thin as is. He's going to split snaps with Van Jefferson, and then obviously with the 4 wide sets. Maybe a dip or two on Woods and Cup's target share from like what Cup's averaging like 32%, maybe down to 30.
Which who cares?
It's more worrisome for Cooper, for Robert Woods going from like
Woods,
22 to 20. But as long as they can both live in that, if Robert Woods can still live in the 20% target share, and Cooper Cup's can live in that, Cooper Cup could take the biggest drop because he has been targeted so much. But I don't see how you can disrupt that offense. So I'm not totally sure how it's going to play out. I don't think he's going to play this week because he hasn't learned the playbook. Obviously, he may be active. He may get sprinkled in a few snaps. But I think we're all right for at least this week to see what happens, and then they're on a bye next week.
And then they'll really figure it out.
Yep. So that'll give him a whole week of learning the playbook. So I think will throw him out there a few snaps on Monday night. But it is a bummer, at least for double dose on fantasy, because I do have Robert Woods and I did pick up Odell Beckham. So now I'm just sitting on 2 Rams receivers. So that is a little bit of a bummer. I was hoping he would go more towards the Chiefs, but again, that would I still have Tyreek Hill. But ideally, if he wanted the targets alone, he would have gone to the Patriots or the Saints, but they're
the Packers.
Yeah, you still got Devontae Adams, but the targets would be there. But he's not. He wouldn't be the true one in Green Bay, where he would be the true one in New England or New Orleans. But
speaking of New England, 24-6 over the Panthers. Sam Darnold is officially dead. News broke this morning, I believe, that Cam Newton is now a Panther again.
Yeah, Superman back in Carolina.
Currently, the Panthers are paying Cam Newton, Cam Newton's replacement, and Cam Newton's replacement's replacement. I saw that on NFL memes today.
Yeah, they're paying quite a. Yeah, there's a couple different situations. What's worse, paying overpaying for a quarterback or paying multiple bad quarterbacks? So
I guess they didn't trust PJ Walker, so that would have been fun to see.
He's going to get the start this week, PJ Walker.
Oh, really?
Yep. Cam Newton, it's not the same offense that he left. So PJ Walker is the starter this week. Maybe he will show a little promise, but that's probably not going to be the case. Cam Newton did sign for a good chunk of cash. So I expect Cam Newton to be the starting quarterback at least in a week. Yeah, up to 10 million. So it's not 5 million guaranteed, 5 more million in incentives. Which, I mean, for half a year, that's pretty good. Yeah, we'll see if Cam Newton gets back in the good graces of football and in the good graces of fantasy managers.
In this game, it appears there were only 3 players that were worthy of fantasy consideration, which were Christian McCaffrey, of course, Damian Harris, and Ramondre Stevenson getting in the mix.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is with Christian McCaffrey, he only played half the snaps, and he got, I believe, 18 touches and around 15 fantasy points. So he played half the snaps and scored 15 fantasy points. So he's back to being that elite RB one. He's going to be in the top 2 to 3 running backs as long as he's seen his full complement of snaps and targets and touches. So that was his first week off IR. They actually worked him in rather than just throwing him into the fire. So Christian McCaffrey is back. We'll see if this helps DJ Moore. I mean, he was on fire the first 3 weeks, but every Panther was on fire the first 3 weeks. Because he's been pretty subpar the last few weeks. Yep. We'll see if this helps Robbie Anderson. Probably not. Moore, it's probably just going to focus in on Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore, honestly.
Ugly game in Kansas City. Jordan Love sighting. Travis Kelce gets a touchdown. Outside of that, nothing happened.
A touchdown 1 week too late.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
Yeah, that game was pretty poo-poo. For as much hype as it had. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs played like garbage. Jordan Love is the starting quarterback. That game was pretty awful from what I have seen on highlights and listening to game by game recaps. It's not the same Chiefs offense right now. The Chiefs have been puzzled by this too high safety look, no big plays. They're trying to get this check down game, and it has not been working very well.
No, they don't have a ton of guys outside of Kelsey and Hill, so there's
and
really
that's
nothing to check down to.
and if you look at all the like those top like if you look at what defenses are doing to the Ravens, to the at least recently, to the Ravens, to the Bills, and to the Chiefs, they're all playing the too high safety look, bringing lots of pressure, and they just can't handle it right now. So that's kind of across the league right now with those big arm quarterbacks that can run, that they're just forcing them to check down, and it's not going well. I mean, good segue into the Bills and Jaguars. Like that's what the Jaguars did, and the Jaguars take down the Giant and take down the Bills
Such a
9-6.
weird game.
Yeah, another ugly game. Like week 9, ugly NFL games. Josh Allen throws 3 picks, one to Josh Allen. That was the big story. Josh Allen sacks Josh Allen. Josh Allen picks off Josh Allen. Josh Allen sacks Josh Allen.
Josh Allen doesn't score any points.
And yeah, unless you play IDP.
True.
Then that Josh Allen probably had a hell of a day. Yeah, weird game. But I feel like the Bills lose always weird games. They don't lose
Like
the games are like they lost to the Steelers. Like games that they should not lose, they lose. And games that there should be close, they end up taking off. So yeah, that was a weird one. No one relevant in that game at all. Josh Allen was bad. Stephon Diggs had a decent game. Zach Moss is concussed. It looks like he's gonna miss this week, so it will be Devin Singletary. Dawson Knox is coming back, so we'll see how that affects the Bills. Cole Beasley's been playing pretty good. Jacksonville don't start anybody unless it's James Robinson when he plays.
Yep,
that's about it.
Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon run all over Dallas. It was a sight to see. Somehow, out of nowhere, Teddy Bridgewater has decided that he's a quarterback again. So that's interesting.
Yeah, that was a weird game. I kept checking the score, and I was thoroughly surprised of that score, and they just ran all over Dallas. Dak didn't look comfortable. It was his first game back. They're saying he just wasn't comfortable. Just off the mark. Should get back on track soon. They did make it a little closer, but Dak throws 2 touchdowns to Malik Turner, who nobody cares about except Malik Turner. Yeah, weird game. Zeke got banged up a little bit. He looks like he's good to go this week. Yeah, just a real surprising game. Based on the Broncos did not have Noah Fant. He was out on the COVID list. Jerry Jeudy looked pretty good.
Dalton Schultz got most of the targets.
Yeah. Most of the targets went Schultz and Turner. Cooper had a lot of targets, just did not have any production. So
I think Gallup is going to be starting to work back in starting this week.
He should be back this week. They were hopeful last week, but he has been designated to return. So he should be back this week, which will throw another wrinkle into the offense. See what happens with Dalton Schultz's targets, with Michael Gallup coming back and moving him into probably the slot, or they might move CD back into the slot, which would probably be more preferable. So maybe see an uptick for efficiency with CD Lamb. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. The Cowboys are still really good. I mean, again, week 9 NFL blip on the radar for every team in week 9.
Moving on, the Jalen Waddle and the Miami Dolphins take care of business against the Texans, 17-9. I unfortunately lost that bet and $20. So
You might as well just flush that down the
damn you,
toilet.
Dolphins.
Yeah, it was actually close. It was +7, so I snuck by. So that was nice. We will get to that recap portion. But another game that nobody really wanted to watch. I don't think I saw a single highlight of this game.
Myles Gaskin scored a touchdown right at the beginning of the fantasy day. I do know that. Right
Yeah.
as soon as I got off the plane, I got a notification.
Myles Gaskin is an every other week starter, so obviously week 10, shitty week.
He scored 5.5 points.
Yeah, don't remind me. I played him in the league. And next week he's going to score a good chunk. So
20 probably.
That'll be week. No, I hope not, because I play you in week 11. So let's. That game was pretty poor. Jacoby Brissett started for Tua. Tua has a fracture in one of his fingers, which I just don't get how they're managing Tua. He's healthy. He's not healthy enough to start, but he's healthy enough to be the backup. And we'll recap the Thursday night game from yesterday, but he gets in the game and they put him back in, and Jacoby Brissett's cleared to go back in, and then they leave Tua back in. So I don't know what the hell they're doing with Tua. I feel like they're babying him a little bit, and they're scared. It just kind of baffles me. Jalen Waddle, Mike Gesicki, pretty good. Myles Gaskin, pretty good in that matchup. But everybody's pretty good against the Houston Texans.
Mm-hmm. Matt Ryan shows up this weekend, killing it against the Saints. Cordero Patterson is
frickin' Patterson, man. He's gonna watch him be like he's still a top, I think, 6 running back. It is just
he be like the comeback player of the year?
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, or breakout player. I don't know. He's 31 years old. I mean, this dude is, God, I don't even know. Like, it's wild how well he's been playing, and like, why haven't teams been using him in this capacity? The Patriots kind of opened him up to being a running back, and then people saw the writing on the wall that, man, he's a pretty good running back. And put him in space, run him through the tackles. He's a big body, but then still put him out on a linebacker, and man, you got it yourself a weapon. Cordero Patterson, man, it's a great thing to see. No one would have thought that. What a hell of a pickup for Sackett, but then traded him. He could really use him right now. But yeah, wow. Just a great story. 30 plus years old, been just a kick returner for most of his career. But yeah, he's been used as a great weapon. Mike Davis has become pretty much obsolete at this point.
Yep.
Last time we hadn't talked since, I don't think Calvin Ridley. I think we did talk briefly about it last time we did the podcast, but he is out indefinitely right now. He's on the non-football injury list. He has to miss a minimum of 3 games. No guarantee he comes back this year. Sackett is still holding on to him, which I don't blame.
Might as well.
In a deep league, you might as well hold on to him. I know I moved on from him in at least one league, in a short bench league. But different league rules will call for different measures. In a deeper league, double flex like ours, you're going to want to hold on. Pitts, another bad game. The tight end position is just a crapshoot. Even if you have one of the good tight ends like Pitts or Hawkinson or Andrews, like, you just kind of go with the flow and start them and hope for the best.
Behind 21 carries from Devontae Booker, the Giants beat the Raiders because week 9. That's why.
We didn't really touch on the Saints. Sorry about that. Saints started Trevor Siemian. Taysom Hill mixed in just a little bit. Alvin Kamara looked good. There was the trade a few weeks ago. Mark Ingram is back in the Saints uniform. He looked pretty good.
He's starting this week.
He will be starting this week. Alvin Kamara has been ruled out, which is a bummer. Which it's funny. Brinkman has both Mark Ingram and Kamara. So just the luck of the draw that he has both of them. Mark Ingram looks pretty good. That they are starting Trevor Siemian again this week, which I don't get. I thought they really liked Taysom Hill, and he's not starting. So I'm kind of
Must be
confused.
something in practice that
Yeah,
Sean Payton's seeing that he
and I
doesn't
mean,
like.
and Simeon hasn't been playing bad by any means. He came in spot of Jameis, and won that game against the Bucks and played decent last week. Maybe they're just kind of letting him ride it out, but it wouldn't be surprising if he's benched at some point for um, Taysom Hill. Maybe we will expect to see Taysom Hill a few more times this week with Alvin Kamara not playing, um, with some wildcat formations and everything. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But Trevor Simeon is back in at quarterback. Can't really trust any of their weapons. You're not going to play Deontay Harris or Marquez Callaway, Adam Troutman. The only one you're probably confidently starting is you put Mark Ingram in that running back 2 slot, most likely. He's probably going to fill in that 24 to 26 area on most rankings. But that's probably the only Saints you'd feel comfortable starting, which is crazy since they're like 7-2.
Mm-hmm. Good game. Chargers beat the Eagles by a field goal, which came in the last few seconds of the fourth quarter. Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen put the team on their back and came through.
Yeah, I didn't watch much of this game.
I saw the end. This is about the only football I watched because I'm in San Diego, so it's on TV.
Yeah, definitely go for it then.
I mean, I don't remember a ton of it. I'm not gonna lie, but it was a back and forth game. The Eagles scored to take the lead. Then the Chargers scored. This all happened in the fourth quarter, I believe, and then a couple field goal kicks, and then the Chargers ended up getting the final one. And let's see, there were 3 scores in the fourth quarter. I'm telling all sorts of lies. Justin Herbert had a rushing touchdown, which was great. And then Devontae Smith countered with a 28-yard pass touchdown with 6 minutes to go.
I did see that one.
Ball back, and then Dustin Hopkins drills in a 29-yard field goal after the Chargers marched down the field.
Yeah,
I think there was a blown coverage on that last drive that got them going.
Obviously, I think every week you can start. Obviously, Justin Herbert, you're starting Austin Eckler, you're starting Keenan Allen. Mike Williams, you're kind of hoping for the best. He started out hot, kind of been up and down ever since. Eagles wise, you're still crossing your fingers for Jalen Hurts. He has that rushing upside. The last couple of weeks, they have been running the ball a lot more, whether it's him or running it on the ground with Boston Scott and Jordan Howard. Like I said, we're back in the day. Jordan Howard is back. And then the only 2 players that Jalen Hurts has thrown the ball to is Dallas Goedert and Devontae Smith. I think they combined for I think they got plus 30% target share in this last game each. But that's what happens when you're only throwing the ball, 18, 19 times. So it's kind of a narrow target tree between those 2. Mm-hmm. And especially in those positive game scripts, if they're in the game, they're going to run the ball a lot more. So just have to wait and see how that works out. I still think Jalen Hurts is still proven that he's a capable starter. So I don't think they're going to be moving to the stash anytime soon. People are getting a little worried about that, but I think he's holding off Minshew for a little bit.
Another weird one on Sunday night, the Titans take care of business against the Rams.
Yeah.
Because week 9, that's why.
Because week 9, yeah.
I thought the Titans had dominated time of possession based on the score and all that. Turns out they didn't. So I really don't know what the hell happened.
Yeah, so I watched the first half of that game. Again, I advise not living on the East Coast. You can't watch the night games because you get too tired. But Stafford had a couple of turnovers. He threw one almost pick 6, and then he threw another. And then the next possession throws a pick 6. So the Rams still had quite a bit of possession time. Darrell Henderson did get banged up a little bit, did come back in the game. Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, still decent games, but that Tennessee defense has been showing up lately against good teams. Buffalo, good performance. Kansas City, good performance. Rams, good performance. Titans are the team to beat right now in the AFC, and they're without the king, man. They're without Derrick Henry. It's kind of what we expected the first week back. First week without Derrick Henry. three-headed monster. Jeremy McNichols had, I believe, the most snaps on the team. Did not get the touchdown. Adrian Peterson did get the 1 yard touchdown.
I believe that was towards the end of the game.
It was to ice the game, I believe, or at least to put it a 2-score game.
Yep.
McNichols did catch 3 or 4 passes, not many yards. Peterson did out touch him, did score the touchdown, and then Donta Foreman got sprinkled in a little bit as well. Spent time on their practice squad last year and played a little bit. Also got promoted 24 hours before the game. Adrian Peterson was 48 hours before the game, so it's kind of what we expected. Jeremy McNichols had the bulk of the work because he's been there most of the year. We'll kind of wait and see how this evens out over the next couple of weeks. Yeah, really interesting to see. I think it will be matchup based, but
It's gonna be a hot hand.
It will be a hot hand. But I think obviously Peterson and McNichols have their kind of roles. Peterson's going to be kind of that goal line ish area. I think it might be more of a like early in the season Cardinals, like where Chase Edmonds plays the majority of the snaps, kind of between the 20s, and then Peterson kind of grinds it in from 20, 30 yards in. Especially those short yardage areas. So it might be kind of that sort of role where I think they both might be able to play, but I think we're going to need to see another week or so out of this backfield before we can kind of have an idea on what's going to go down in the next few weeks.
The Ravens cannot cover. However, they do squeak out another one against the Vikings in overtime with a field goal. Lamar Jackson had a good games in the second half.
Yeah, I feel like that's all the Ravens games. Every single Ravens game has been close, whether they win or lose.
They can't cover.
No, they can't cover at all. Like bet against the Ravens every single time.
Bet against them to cover. I'm going to start doing that because I need some help.
Yeah, Don't bet for them to or bet for them to cover, or don't bet for them to cover.
Don't bet for them not to cover.
I guess it depends on the game, but most often they're probably not going to cover because, I mean, they're always going to be in close games. Their defense isn't as good as it used to be.
No, it's just the uniform that everyone thinks they're going to be good, but they're
their defense. Yeah, it's kind of like getting used to, like the Bengals are not in the past. They've been horrendous, and now they're good. You just got to figure out, like, you got to throw out all your biases and take it week to week. You can't have these like precedents and like not the right opinions.
Preconceived.
Yeah, preconceived notions. Yeah, preconceived notions. You just got to throw it all out the window and go with what the stats say, which is the Ravens defense sucks, just like the Chiefs defense suck. So you're going to want to bet on those teams, like sports betting, fantasy, like those are the teams you want to play against. And they're going to be fine. So you just got to throw out all those preconceived notions.
James Conner beats up on 49ers.
Yeah, 3 touchdowns. He did benefit on Chase Edmonds getting hurt. Chase Edmonds played just a few snaps, ends up with a high ankle sprain. He is out multiple weeks, which is a bummer. But James Conner, which we've talked about, he's back in the lion's share of the workload. He scored 3 touchdowns, scored 40 points. The only other person to score, only a couple people that scored 40 points this year: James Conner, Tyreek Hill, and Derrick Henry. So in kind of elite company there. I think Lamar might have had a 40-point game. Maybe Justin Herbert, maybe Tom Brady. But yeah, it's kind of elite company to be in that 40-point range. He's going to be locked in. He's going to be a running back one for the foreseeable future. So good job, Cody. You've been sitting on him all year. Hopefully that'll pay off in the long run. Or you could be like me, who did not start James Conner and lose by 1.5 points and have 40 points sitting on your bench.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. And I only scored like 88 points, so he would have scored half my points. Mm-hmm.
Walk us through the Steelers-Bears game for Monday night.
Yeah, so I only caught I caught the second quarter and a little bit of the third quarter when we had a layover coming back from New York. We Had some dinner at one of the restaurants in TIA and saw a little bit of the game. Obviously, they're feeding Najee Harris as much as they can. I did see
He did
Chase.
your interview in Spanish, didn't he?
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Not really in Spanish, but
No, it was a
um,
Spanish guy talking to him.
yeah, it was pretty funny. He's a likable guy, that's for sure. He's good for Pittsburgh, in the PR aspect of everything, and um, from what I saw from the highlights, I mean, they built a good lead, and I feel like that's for every game. Like you build a good lead, and you kind of get a little soft, and the team starts making a comeback. Justin Fields looked pretty good in the second half of that game, and it ends up taking the lead. But obviously, Ben, calm, cool, and collected, goes down, chunk yard, big play by Deontay, and gets the game-winning field goal by Boswell. Pat Fryermuth, man, the tight end the rookie tight end that no one's talking about because everyone's talking about Kyle Pitts. He's been doing pretty well, obviously. The side story of that is Eric Ebron's been out the last 3 weeks. So that's that does help. And obviously Juju's been out for a few more weeks longer than that. And now Chase Claypool's out. It looks like turf toe. He's going to be out. He's classified week to week. So it looks like starting wide receiver sets are Deontay Johnson and James Washington. And then I did see that Eric Ebron is back at practice, full practice. They're probably going to run a lot more 12 personnel. So they're probably going to Deontay and James Washington on the outside and play more two tight end sets with Fryermuth and Ebron with Najee in the backfield. But only players you can really start. I mean, Fryermuth has worked himself up into that tight end one area, as is everyone. Essentially, if you're starting tight end on an NFL team, you're a tight end one. So
just a touchdown away.
Just a touchdown away, baby. You catch two, you might be the tight end one for the week, which he was last week. So yeah, he has been looking good. A good building blocks for Pittsburgh in the future. Najee Harris and Fryermuth and Deontay Johnson. Ben,
they just got to find a quarterback.
Yeah, I'm real interested.
There is one coming out of Pitt.
There is, and
they probably don't have a chance at him though.
No, they're in the playoff hunt, so as they are every year. I'm interested to see if they're going to be in the veteran quarterback market. To build that bridge, maybe take a quarterback middle of the first round next year. Get a middle of the road quarterback. I don't know what that middle of the road quarterback looks like. Obviously, maybe it's Mason Rudolph for a year. Because I do think this is Ben's last year. And we've talked about that. I do think it is his last year. And the only other quarterbacks on the roster are Mason Rudolph and Dwayne Haskins. So maybe they give Dwayne Haskins a little bit of a run next year to see. But truly don't know. I've heard rumors Aaron Rodgers to Pittsburgh as well. But he's not a free agent, so I don't know if Pittsburgh would be willing to give up what they want for that. But please, just please don't give us Sam Darnold. Just please, no Sam Darnold. So anybody with Sam, I'll take Teddy. No Sam. So, or I'll take Jimmy Garoppolo. I'll take Jimmy Garoppolo, man. So we'll have to wait and see. But Justin Fields, though, he's been turning it on the last few weeks. You still can't play any Bears. I think you can obviously play David Montgomery because you got to play running backs that are starters. You really can't. I mean, Allen Robinson, you can play and hope for something nice, but it hasn't been very nice most of the year. And then Darnell Mooney, it's been pretty good deep threat. He had a pretty good game, 2 touchdowns, so he might be the one bright spot in that Bears offense. But yeah, it's just see how that all works out with Justin Fields. Obviously, he's claimed the starting job, and see how that works out in the next few weeks. Yeah, it's a bummer not watching much football this week. I'll be watching every game this week. I have nothing going on. I will dive
good.
straight in. I got a little bit of time this weekend. So
I will be back on shift starting on Sunday. I am going to have to it's a good time for a break real quick.
all right, let's do that.
All right. And we're back. Now it's time to talk about the matchups that mattered.
Yeah, so it's a little different this week. Obviously, we're a couple days in to the season, or not a couple days into the week. But a trend has emerged. The Double A division is kicking the crap out of the War. 5-1 last week for back-to-back 5-1 weeks. The War is 17-7 through
I'm just
four.
barely keeping it afloat.
Yep, through 4 weeks of interdivision play. The War needs a couple good weeks. But yeah, Dalton's team is keeping the War afloat in the win column. Dalton was the only War team to win this week or previous week. That being said, we'll go through it real fast. I was able to take down Dark Horse in a pretty low scoring week across the field. A lot of bad teams that won in the NFL, which meant a lot of good teams players did not. I took down Dark Horse 122 and changed to 97-9. Looking at the box
The difference
score
was in the quarterbacks, basically.
Yep, Lamar had 30. He had Tyrod Taylor at 6. He had Kyler Murray had to pivot pretty quick. He also lost Derrick Henry. Tyler Lockett on a bye. He was scrambling pretty fast. I was able to throw in a solid week for the week of scoring. Najee Harris fine. I did plug and play Jeremy McNichols. Played my 2 new pieces and Deontay Johnson and Dallas Goedert. Robert Woods fine. He just had a rough week across the board. Besides Tim Patrick and Marquise Brown and Darren Waller. Otherwise, pretty rough week for him. Sackett, again, pulls it out by the skin of his nose. Another 2-point win in the last 2 weeks. Sackett has won 2 games by about 2.7 points. He was
down big coming out of the Thursday night, too.
He was. So that being said, he did squeak by. The difference, obviously, was James Conner, 40 points for him. The Monday night game came down to Chase Claypool versus Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson bested Chase Claypool. Chase Claypool did get hurt. And that's obviously the difference of the game. Obviously, if Claypool stays in, he may win that game. But 40 points from James Conner helps out any given Sunday due time. Another crack at 7-2 drops Heath down to 5-4. I didn't realize how close this game was. Patrick beats the Brink by less than 4 points. Did not realize how close that game was. Brinkman's been hurting with a couple guys getting hurt. Obviously, Kamara got hurt. Chase Edmonds got hurt. Got a -2 from the Bengals. That's not always very good. Patrick had a just okay week. Nothing fantastic. Cordero frickin' Patterson.
Or not Jack Conklin. Tyler Conklin.
Tyler Conklin, Cordero Patterson, and Christian McCaffrey. That's all you need to win a fantasy football matchup these days. Then we get Scotch on the sidelines and Lean. If you want to break down your matchup, feel free, Dalton.
Yeah, I got a 30-point win against Lean, which I need because it's against Lean.
By the way, if anybody hasn't looked at the Hall of Records, I went in and named your rivalry.
With Lean?
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep. Jailhouse Rock.
Did he start Greg Zuerlein, who was out?
No, that was last week. These have the designations from this week in.
He just didn't score any points?
Yeah, well, they went for 2 both times and got it.
Oh, okay.
He just got a juice. Yep. So if you go back and look at Heath or Brinkman's, it says Kamara's out and Edmonds is out. That's this week's designations.
The ballsy play of Elijah Moore is really what sealed the deal for me.
Correct. I believe you might have said a perfect lineup. It looks like. No, not quite a perfect lineup. Rondell Moore outscored Mecole Hardman.
Yeah, just by a few.
Just by a
2
few.
points.
I Facebook messaged Lean on Saturday night, and I told him every week you give me a heart attack, and that's all I said. Because he always sets his lineup Sunday morning at like 9:00. He always gives me a heart attack that I'm gonna have to forfeit him, but he always sneaks it by, and that would just give me a heart attack. No wonder he's in outside the playoffs.
Yeah, he is on COVID leave now, so hopefully this Sunday he is going to be a little bit better off.
I bet against that, but he makes fun of you for having COVID leaves. Now did he test positive?
Yeah, he did.
Lean. Well,
I think they're just going down a list at this point.
Yep. If you listen to this, take advantage of the time off and work on that roster of yours. Let's see here. Cole smacks Drew. Drew's been hurting with Patrick Mahomes playing like poo-poo.
Everybody played like poo-poo on his team, except for Ty Johnson, apparently.
Yeah, Ty Johnson, 12 points. Devontae Booker, 15.2. Great trade for him. You should have kept him, Dalton.
That's all right.
Either way, it's a push at this point. Cole puts up a decent week, not fantastic, 130. It's a good game from Kirk Cousins, Melvin Gordon.
Was I the highest scoring person this week?
You were at a 150.
Yeah. Wow, that was a rough week for everybody, apparently.
It was. When I scored 123, I was like the third or fourth highest scoring team. Cole, again, good matchup or decent game. Got good games from Cousins, Melvin Gordon, Nick Chubb. Decent games from Miles, Emmanuel Sanders, and Marquez Callaway. 130 is going to get you a win in one of these crapshoot weeks. He does win it. And the matchup I was looking forward to all week, Luke was not talking so much shit, but Luke going for the 8 in a row streak and Blaster trying to get off the schneid. That does not happen. Luke continues to win. He moves his win streak to 8. Blaster falls to 0-9.
He was so close this time.
So close. Luke called me, and I told him every time he calls me. He called me Sunday morning. I was in New York. He's like, "Who do you think I should start?" I said, "You're cut off, dude. I'm not helping you. You make your own decisions. You've won 7 in a row. You're a big boy." And I did not help him, which I haven't been helping him in the past few weeks. I usually give him my just like what I think, but he can make his own decisions. But he squeaks one out. Had just enough from the Rams defense to win. Pulls it out by 3.5-ish points. 3.5. 101-56 to 97-98. The difference. Oh God, that makes it. Yeah, well, it was hard. David Montgomery.
He had Dave Montgomery on his bench. So
David Montgomery didn't get activated until late Sunday.
Yeah, so nobody would have started him.
Yeah, it was kind of a tough point.
So he couldn't have won.
Yeah, he would have had to. Yeah, it would have been really tough. Yeah, it would have had to have been Nelson Aguilar, and he would have just tried to roll it out. Tough matchup. He did it. He definitely did his best. Luke was quaking in his boots. I did talk to him a few times throughout the day. He was a little scared. He also got a goose egg from Jeff Wilson. He was in between Jeff Wilson and Chuba Hubbard. Obviously, it didn't matter.
And Frank Gore reincarnated.
But Luke was able to pull it out. Luke now officially ties the longest win streak in the Gym City Gridiron history. He is going
Hopefully
for
I can knock him off this week.
Yeah, he's going for the record, the pristine record. Brinkman has won 8 games twice. Patrick has won 8 games once. And now Luke is in the elite company of that, has won 8 games. He will try and get to that 9 wins in a row mark. He lost week 1, and that is it, boys. We are all fighting for Luke to lose. So that is everyone's common enemy. That being said, Blasters 0-9. He is 2 losses away from the all-time 11 game streak. Matt did lose 10 games in a row 3 years ago. So he is fighting for his life right now.
Much more less desirable streak.
Yes. But at this point, you can play spoiler. You're not going to give anybody away. You're just going to try and hope for the best and spoil somebody's day at this point. And that being said, I'll do a little preview of next week. We do have the Thursday night game already in. That is a perk. We can everyone has lineups kind of built in. A little preview here. I will not preview. I'll preview Brinkman's, but he's got some work to do. Alvin Kamara has been ruled out. He is projected to lose 117-107. He will need to plug and play another running back, but he has Mark Ingram sitting on his bench. That's a plug and play right there. Going to be a close matchup between Brinkman and any given Sunday. 2-time right now, 5-4. Stewart had the Ravens defense compared to Sackett's Justin Tucker. Looks like Sackett's also going to have to move Chris Carson out of his lineup. He was not activated from IR. He's going to have to make a move. Looks like
plenty of running backs to slide in there.
Looks like he's going to probably play Alex Collins, maybe Ramondre Stevenson. Damon Harris is also questionable. Looks like he's not going to play as well, so he might.
He's also got Benjamin.
Yep.
Necessary.
So that's going to be interesting. We have Heath and Patrick. Early projections have Patrick winning still 141-133. Heath did have Devonta Freeman and Mark Andrews on Thursday go for 27. Patrick still has all his guys to go. Heath without Antonio Brown and Chase Claypool kind of plugging and playing a little bit. Played Devonta Freeman, tried to get some of those points. Did score 8.8. Not a bad night. But Patrick looked like Patrick's trying to move to. Patrick quietly has won also 5 in a row. So he is sitting at 7-2. The call out bowl from last year, Lean and Drew, which we don't have a call out bowl this year. So if anybody wants to have a call out, let us know. But right now it looks like Lean is projected to squeak by the hair on his chin 114.10 to 113.2.
0.99, I believe.
Yep. So nobody played in the Thursday night game. So they are full and quote unquote locked and loaded. Dark Horse projected to beat Cole 119-106. Cole's got some work to do. He's got Chubb on the COVID list. He will need to probably plug and play H.A. Dillon, it looks like, or he's got Javonte as well. He can move around a few pieces. Russell Wilson's coming back. That's going to change. That's going to be a close matchup too. We've got 2, 3, and 6 teams vying for potentially the last spot in the playoffs right now. You get that seventh loss, and you're kind of on the borderline. I'll have you preview yours if you'd like there, Dalton.
Looks like I'm currently projected to win 137-133.
Yes. The top two teams.
Gaskin.
Top two teams in each division. Scotch on the sidelines and Monsters and Freight Trains. So
unfortunately, Myles Gaskin didn't really give us that good of a performance, but Jason Sanders did. So we got that going for us. If I'm basically going to have to start Antonio Gibson on his shin issue, but
no love for Elijah Moore this week.
I don't think I can do it.
Yeah.
Not against Buffalo.
What about Rondell Moore? What if Kyler's back and Hopkins is out? Oof, that's tough.
I think I'm still going to stick with what I got here because I started Gaskin, but
yeah, that's true.
I probably should have not started Gaskin and waited, but he's been so good. So,
but the thing is, like, it's going to come down to Monday night. You have Cooper Kupp and Deebo Samuel on Monday night. That'll
be sweet.
That's a perk. He does. Luke does have George Kittle on Monday night and the Rams defense, so it will come down to Monday night. So that's going to be one to watch, fellas.
Hopefully,
Luke does have Jamar Chase on a bye. That's about it. Everybody else pretty much locked and loaded. And then myself, I am playing the 0-9 Blasters Bastards. Blaster trying not to fall to 0-10. We did have a little bit of a hiccup for both of us on Thursday night. I had Lamar Jackson. He produced 15 and a half points roughly. Not great, but I'll take it compared to his Mike Gesicki goose egg. And Gesicki had 7 targets. I saw this. This is the first time someone's had like a 20% target share and did not catch a ball. He had 7 targets last night.
DK Metcalf on his bench, and
not totally
Nelson
sure.
Aguilar in his starting rotation,
which is weird because he had Mike Evans on a bye last week, so he's obviously moved Mike Evans up. So I'm not sure what the DK Metcalf is. Maybe he's playing mind games with me. We'll see. But that would project him up a little bit. What is Aguilar projected at? He's projected at 9.4, which I don't like the NFL projections very much. 9 point, like how many times has Nelson Aguilar scored 9.4 points?
Once.
3, twice.
Okay.
3 scored twice. 8. Yeah. So either way, move that up by about 10 points. Projections are looking 138 in my favor to 118, give or take. He has been battling some running back injuries, and both his good running backs are on a bye this week. Saquon Barkley should be back, which has been a snafu for him this year. And then David Montgomery's also been out. So
any given Sunday.
Any given Sunday, man. But it looks like at this point, I think I'm rolling with Jerry Jeudy over Devonta Smith this week. It's hard to bench Devonta Smith, but Jerry Jeudy's getting that target share that I like. So that's going to be a close one too. But like I said, the double A 5-1 last week. We have records of 3-3, 4-2, 5-1, 5-1 with a running total of the double A 17 wins to the Wars 7. So we'll see if that gets a little closer.
I think I have 4 of those wins.
You might have 4. You might have most of them. And a little sneak preview. The commish and deputy commish next week on the radar, week 11. Here we go. And I did.
I actually get to pay attention to football too.
I did take a little sneak peek. No Cooper Kupp for you. Thank you. Which all the Cooper Kupp trash I've been getting all year long. It's just fortunate that Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods are both on a bye next week. So that'll be fun to chat about coming up. The bets that matter. So the bets last week, there was the Dolphins. Dalton took the Dolphins, or Dalton took the Texans +7. I took the Dolphins -7. The Dolphins did win by 8, so the Dolphins did cover. I did take home that point. One of the more non-interesting matchups was more points, Devontae Adams or Tyreek Hill. Do you want to take a guess who won that?
Adams.
You want to guess the scores?
It was like 7-4 or something.
10.2 for Adams, 7.3 for Hill.
Jeez.
Gross. So 1-1.
Finally, I get a win.
And then, you won one the previous week. And then the last one was, will there be a 20-point fantasy defense? There was 4 of 8 weeks that were a 20-point defense. Dalton took the yes. I took the no. And there was one 20-point defense. It was the Patriots on their pick 6 seal, and that was it.
Heck yeah.
So pretty close. So Dalton takes the 2-1 win for week 9. Running total of, still in my favor, Zach, 14-10. So pretty close. So that's going to be fun. I'm not too thrilled. Some of
A
the
lot of our league ones are already blown up.
yeah, it's going to be interesting. The DJ Moore Calvin Ridley one kind of pisses me off.
We'll talk about it more later on in the year.
Yeah, we might need to if Calvin Ridley does come back, maybe we change that to a points per game because they're about even for points per game. But
let's
let's
move on to the bets for this week.
Dalton's got
I just came up with them.
3 bets for week number 10.
Vacation brain.
Vacation brain. Week 10 bets on vacation. Lay it on me, boy.
Okay, the first one is Cowboys, Falcons +8.
Oh my God. You're killing me, man. +8. Where's it at? Is it at?
No idea.
Okay, I got to do a little race. I got to have a little bit of.
Probably on the road because the Cowboys have played a lot of home games this year.
Yeah, I bet it's in. I bet it's in Atlanta. No, it's at home again. Shit. Let's see. There's been so many big spreads this year. It's like some of the biggest spreads I've ever seen. Like there's been so many double-digit spreads.
It gets worse.
Oh, you're doing straight sports bets here?
Yep.
God.
I don't got all day, man.
Give me. Oh, that's why it's so hard. I hate taking the Cowboys. I'm gonna make you take the Cowboys. I'm gonna take +8.
Okay, give me the Cowboys -8.
Okay, I'm just gonna
write these down.
I will. I'll listen to it again at 1.5x next week.
Colts, Jags +10.
Give me the Colts. God,
give me the Jags +10.
That one I'll go ahead and take that one then. Man, okay.
Steelers, Lions +7.5.
You know when I don't answer Pittsburgh right away, it's pretty tough. 7.5. No Claypool.
Winless so far this year.
The winless ones, but what are they against the spread? They're probably decent against the spread, honestly.
Yeah, I think they're all right.
They're pretty good. It's at home. Since you took the Cowboys, I'll take the Steelers.
All right, give me the Lions +7.5. The NFL's weird.
The NFL's weird, but I feel like I got pretty good sides on most of those.
Somebody could probably sweep this, and we would not be shocked.
No. Well, that's the vacation mode. When I forgot mine, I just said, let's do a DraftKings head-to-head. So
yep,
that works out. Maybe I'll have to sprinkle in a 3-game parlay on my my bets over here. So
I'm gonna take off. The outro is all yours.
All right, man.
Later,
man. And with that, everybody, we are on to week number 10. Good luck, everybody, and we will catch you on the week 11 episode.